Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rewind and Replay. I'm Matan,
I'm Adriana.
And I'm Caitlin.
and today we're joined by Ricco Fajardo, an American voice actor who works mostly in dubbing anime and video games. You might know him best as Mirio from My Hero Academia or Leo de Iglesia from Yuri on Ice. Ricco actually went to UCI for undergrad and got his MFA from Southern Methodist University. Zot, right?
Yeah. Zot, zot.
This way.
Love it.
Like, zot, zot, and then pony up for me. I got 2 minutes. That's all.
I love it.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is, during the pandemic coronavirus times, I always welcome having some camaraderie and friendships. It's lovely. Especially with fellow anteaters. So
Yes.
Yes.
I always thought it was so funny how proud they were that they had an odd mascot on every tour. They would spend like half an hour being like, and we are just so quirky. We have
Can't you believe it?
Can you believe it? That's
No,
exactly
I remember on my tour, they had us, we were near another tour group and they're like, okay guys, so this is how you do the little hand theater.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna go zot, zot, zot. We're gonna do it as loud as we can. We're gonna be louder than that tour group over there. And they just had us yelling zot, zot, zot. And then it would just be a competition.
They did that for us too, but at the Infinity Fountain.
Yeah, I think it was
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Infinity Fountain too. Oh my god, what if you were the other tour group?
Dude.
Worlds collide. This is like some MCU shit. Like,
Yeah.
wow, and she was there at the same time, and they actually
It was
So before we get into the podcast proper, could you tell the audience a little bit about where to find you online, like Twitch or Twitter or TikTok or anything?
Oh,
else with
sure.
T?
Oh, God. TikTok. You guys, I am the old. No, I think
You saw that TikTok you
Oh.
made.
it's just Ricco Fajardo. Here's the thing, guys, with social media. It's, you can sit on your phone and do it like all day. You can like literally, if you wanted to, see the sun come up and just do this all day. And if I added another one, which I just did with TikTok, because I'm a glutton for punishment, you can find me at Ricco Fajardo on most of these things. I think the only one that is different. Twitter is just at Ricco Fajardo. My Twitch, if you like playing games and want to hang out with me playing games, it's Ricco Fajardo. My TikTok, Ricco Fajardo. The only one that's different is my YouTube, which is Ricco Fajardo Official.
Oh,
Fans.
Someone took Ricco Fajardo, and I'm like, oh,
jerk.
pissing me off. No, it's okay. I
Someone
was gonna
else
do
took the
this.
same
Look at my
name.
little pop socket. Look, it's baby Mirio.
Oh my.
Oh.
Oh,
I want to become a
cute.
hero too. Anyway.
I love
Miriam
that.
makes me so sad.
He's such a good character.
Well,
No spoilers.
I know, but for where the anime left off, Miriam makes me sad.
Oh man, I'm like just so hyped about this character and the
Yeah.
way that the fandom and fans like separately reach out to me about how much this character means. It's a new experience for sure. Because I've played a lot of different characters, but My Hero Academia is such a special show, and has such a strong, vibrant fan base. Man, I mean, it's hard. I don't know. As the actor, it's hard not to get drawn into it.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's different than studying doing theater, because I went to UCI and did theater, and SMU's classically trained, working on Romeo and Juliet, and figuring out how best to do the three witches and Mackers. How do we do this weave the curse on stage? But then after a play's over, usually it's congratulations, you did a great job.
Mhm.
Great, hey, I remember you a couple of years ago, you were Benvolio or da-da-da, but with this kind of thing, an anime specifically, which has its own just special charm and place in our world stateside, it's so memorable. Sorry if you're hearing random sounds, by the way. I have 3 cats running around me, so I might just pick one up. But
Say, don't be shy. Show them.
I will. I know if they wander within range, I'll pick them up. But all that to say, yeah, it's really something. You guys, I keep getting all this merch people keep sending to me. Got my Mirio Togata.
Oh, that's so.
UA high
That's so
school
cool.
thing. Yeah.
What's his birthday? 7/15.
His birthday. Yeah.
Is he a Cancer?
I think he is.
I guess who shares a birthday with Mirio?
Deku
No.
Midoriya. Oh, you did too. You all
I
did. I was like, Midori, easy.
Wait, I
True.
think I knew this.
But
because-
also me.
No, I remember, Adrian, on your birthday,
Mhm.
I saw on Rico's posts on Instagram that it was also Deku and Mirio's birthday. And I was like, wait, oh my God. I think I texted you that.
Yeah.
You did, yeah.
That's so funny.
They're super bros, man.
Yep.
They're close to my
That's
heart.
great. That's amazing.
Man, I don't know, you guys. I can fanboy a bit about it. I know Justin Briner, who plays Midoriya, is fanboy for the show as well, and he's just a super sweet guy. We were in New York at New York Comic Con. It was the first time that season 4, when all Mirio stuff happens. We were sitting in this cafe, and they made it all My Hero'd out. They put like decals on it.
Aww.
They did like a special menu, and Justin and I were in the corner, and they were taking pictures of us, and I was like, bro, it's a moment of quiet, of respite, where people they were like setting up cameras and doing things. And I thought, man, of all things, especially when you go to school for theater and, musical theater and all these things, when you're in New York, you expect, oh, I'm working on Broadway. And yet here I am at New York Comic Con with my buddy Justin, who's an excellent singer, by the way. Midori is just a beautiful tenor. And he's sitting next to me, and we're like, man, this is wild that we're here in the city and we're like, doing this. And I had to ask him, I was like, did you ever think that we would be here doing something like this
for this?
And he's like, nope, not at all. And we're just sipping on our coffee, and it was a really sweet kind of little bro moment.
Yeah.
We worked together a lot, Justin and I, on quite a few shows where we got to play across from each other. But this one, of course, is like, it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
No, I definitely feel you on the theater at UCI, because I also go there right now as a theater student and a film student. And they definitely train more classical theater, especially for undergrads. So I was curious how you got more inspired into going into voice acting. Was there anything, like a specific show or anything that inspired you into wanting to do voice acting?
Oh, man. Well, first off, I have to ask, is the barn still there? Do you guys still have the barn?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
The barn.
I was so confused when I had a class at the barn. I had no idea how to get there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
Sorry.
weird.
And for the listeners and for myself, what is the barn?
Wait, you don't know
It's
what the
a barn.
barn is?
I don't know the
It's literally
barn.
a barn. It's okay. So sorry if you don't know UCI at all. So you know where the Arc is, Matan?
Yeah, that's the gym.
The gym. Yeah, it's literally right behind the gym. There's a barn.
Weird. Okay. Weird.
Yeah, it's
All
It's
right.
like a gazebo looking thing.
Yeah,
Oh man, it is
it's
super
a dance
cool.
studio inside though. Like,
And you guys do classes there.
mhm.
So check it. I just had to ask, because when you said that, I was thinking about the sort of like iconic UCI experiences, and just I'll try to dovetail this into voice acting. But when I was at UCI, in order to even audition for, oh my God, cats, stop.
They will not listen.
They're climbing the curtains.
Oh no.
I will spray you with water.
Dude,
Don't do this while Dad's on camera, like the weatherman trying to do weather.
Right.
And cats are just like,
Yeah.
So in order to even audition for master's programs at UCI, you had to have X amount of creds done, 2 different like instructors sign off on it, and then also have done 2 major productions at UCI. Now I was working 2 jobs, while doing like a double credit load. I was like, wasn't sleeping, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can sympathize. So I didn't really have time to do plays, which really sucked considering I was going to school for acting. I was like, don't worry, I'll act when I finish taking all these credits and paying off all these things, But that said, Cliff Faulkner reached out to me and had in our little box, which I rarely check because I'd never gotten email for anything. Do you guys still have little mailboxes? Anyway, I have my little undergrad mailbox, and I opened a little letter, and this is beautiful calligraphy. It said Ricco Fajardo, and I opened it, and it was like, hey, this is a personal invitation to do a special grad production of Hamlet in the barn.
damn.
And I was like, oh, holy crap. And people were like, why did you get invited? Blah, blah, blah. Like, where is this coming from? I was like, well, I just never performed. I never really got the chance to perform, nor did I have the time really, which is, I know it's counterintuitive. But anyway, to nutshell this and just drive forward, I accepted it, did just this beautiful production of Hamlet where we could only have like 15 people in the audience in a little circle. And it was such an intimate production. It was effing beautiful. And in that Jerzy Grotowski was used to like practice in the barn, so it had this lovely kind of like holy actor vibe, and before we would do any rehearsal or play or run of the show, we would wipe down the floor like ceremoniously. It was very, very spiritual and awesome. And but it's because of that production of Hamlet that I was able to apply for grad schools, which then consequently led me out to SMU, which I never would have probably done had I not had that qualification. So because of Cliff giving me that, I literally was trying to avoid doing major productions because it was so much, it's a huge time commitment.
Yes.
For me, and I was a 2-year transfer. So I was, coming out of community college, I'm like trying to save that money while also, getting that degree.
Right.
I think that it's funny how these little things can wind up just sending your life on a whole different trajectory. And then to try to weave that back into voice acting, did not think that voice acting was going to be a thing. I've always known it when I left UCI to go to SMU in Dallas, Texas, as a sort of, it existed in the world. Obviously, I grew up watching anime, so I know that was one of your questions. One of the first shows I ever watched, movies that my brothers brought home was Akira. When you're watching this at 12 years old, probably shouldn't be watching it.
Yeah,
I remember being in the top bunk of my bed, and they're like, Ricco, go to sleep. You're not supposed to be watching this. But, it's my brothers in a small house. And so I'm like, what are you going to do? Stop me from peeking underneath my blanket? So I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And I remember seeing this sequence where the protesters are running across the bridge and they get lasered apart and all the anime blood flies out. And I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah. And just the images were so shocking. The music was just otherworldly. These concepts, I've never even been in a cartoon. Do you know what I mean? Or I should say animation, right? As a young person seeing animation in that way with all of those elements and all these like heavy themes, I was hooked, dude, from then. So it was like Akira, watch Ninja Scroll, that was vicious. But like the kind of lighter, my brothers and I, we watched like, to nowadays we watch like Naruto. My top 3 favorite anime usually hasn't really changed. It's Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Ghost in the Shell.
Ooh,
like
3 great choices. Might I say?
Man, I can go on and on about, I'm mixed race, and I have this paper I wrote on the disidentification of Makoto, of Major in Ghost in the Shell, and what it's like to be, a different race, but then also be, I'm like, I love it. And it's post World War II, like Japan. I love it. Anyway, I'll set that aside because that's a conversation for another time. I was a big fan, did not anticipate being involved in it until I was looking for work, as actors do. And I was in Dallas, Fort Worth, and like, did you know there's a dubbing studio out here, Funimation? Would you like, my friend Brina, we were on a film set of all things. She'd said, do you want to come audition? And I said, sure. I'm not like, I'm happy for the work. The motto has always been follow the work. So, I want to say it was like, oh yes, I want to go do voice acting. And I targeted it with specificity and, grace, but it wasn't that. It was like, I would like a job and I will act for monies, or maybe crafty for catering. So,
Yeah.
You want to say hi? No, she
Dang.
They're coming. They're playing right now. You can hear that little crinkly tube. Sorry about that.
It's all good. When I still do some acting here and there, but I have shifted my focus more to writing in the last year. But such a cute. You listeners who aren't on YouTube, you guys are missing out.
She has a
I can make her murr. Let me see. Hang on. Here we go. Belle. Hang on. Belle. There we go.
Oh, such a gift.
Yeah.
Oh,
Her name's Belle. She's
what a cutie.
Look at this fool. Yeah, she cranked out a few kittens, and we got the kittens here too.
Hell yeah.
Now she's fixed, so thank God.
Right.
She'd probably be like, I brought home more kittens. You go play with your children, Belle.
when I moved to LA to go to community college, but also to try to pursue acting further.
Yes.
And I had a lot of trouble getting work. But one of the first paid gigs I got, I will not say the name of the channel, but was for a YouTube channel that centers around purported real arrests. This guy is a bounty hunter, and he finds people and
I
arrests
think I
them.
know. Oh, Belle, what's up?
And so I played it was an improv job. So they basically told me, hey, go to this parking lot and we're going to pull up and you better be in character. And we're going to run it for like 20 minutes. And then, and you can run, you can fight back, you can do whatever you want. But if we're like going to have you for like 20 minutes and then you're good.
Did you get arrested?
I did get arrested. I got handcuffed. I got pushed onto a car. I got handcuffed and put in the back seat. It was very uncomfortable. And then I got paid like $50 for half an hour. And I was like, yo, I'm set.
Yo, oh my God. That sounds like you guys ever work at Central Casting in Los Angeles? That was a big one for me. I would do that for
this one was
extra
backstage, but I've done casting as well.
Got it. Yep, that was when I was out in Los Angeles area before I moved out to Dallas. Was my friends and I are like, hey, there's a call for not Housewives, what the hell? Like there's a lot of reality shows that shoot up there. Oh my God, she wants to be a lap cat. She never wants to be a lap cat. Anyway, today she knows the lights are on. She's like,
a star.
I want to be. You want to be a star, don't you?
I like your moxie, kid.
I like your moxie, kid. But yes, I totally sympathize with that. My first gig, like on camera, that I was so proud of was what was it? It was CSI Miami. Shot in California. Shot in like Van Nuys.
Of course.
Yeah, they had to keep spraying the ground to make it look like it was Florida wet. You know what I mean? Like, look at all that humidity. I'm like, man, acting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was a part of this party scene where we find this, like dead body, and of course you hear the scream.
Yeah.
I think she falls out of a window onto like a dagger sculpture, something stupid.
Of course.
Anyway,
it's CSI Miami. Yeah.
You're so passionate. What is your deal right now? I wish you guys could see. I could put the camera down. She's like doing her little. You're biting me. What the fuck? This is new. This is not. Right. If you want to come up here, you can.
Cats are like that though. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen so many videos that are like, no, I promise I'm fine. These are just cat scratches. Like I've been mutilated by this monster that I love and keep around for some reason.
Yeah, little blade creature that just full of knives, mouth full of knives, hand knives.
Yep.
I hate it when they do like the dog thing, and they lay back and they're like, come pet me. My stomach is here.
Gotcha.
And dogs love it.
Got him.
Cats, it's a trick. It's a trap. But I'm so used to dogs that it's like I'll fall for it. I'll just fall for it.
Oh, I know it's a trap. And I know
It's a trap.
Thank you.
I think we both.
I do have one cat that actually loves it. Like she'll lie on her back and she'll want you to pet her.
Weirdo.
That's great. I love it.
She's a dog.
Yeah.
These cats are cool. They're very like belly. I want you to rub my belly, and they're cool with it. They're sweet. If they want to play, they'll let you know. They'll like bat you softly, and then if you continue to play, they're like, "Oh, it's on," and then they they proceed to just claw your But they, if you let out a sound, if you let out a little like something or other, they'll oh no, she's grooming my beard right now.
No.
She's like, you smell.
You are her baby.
Smell like she is. It kind of hurts, but that's okay. That happened. That's sweet.
That do kind of hurt.
It's love. What is love? Baby, you're in fact hurting me. Anyway, sorry. Oh my God. What the fuck?
I'm here for all the cat content. It's not a problem. But getting back to the podcast, I guess, so that's the thing we do. I don't know anymore. It might not be.
This cat right here. Thank God my partner opened the door. She's like, was doing yoga out there. That's what we got. The cats right here. And the second she opened it, they all went, all love gone. They're like, oh, new thing?
Yeah.
Peace.
Yep.
I wish she just left. But I met my girlfriend here at SMU. She's a dancer. And it wound up, she's lovely performer, wanted to do concert dance, to kind of talk about how I got into like voice acting, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By way of going to school and doing theater and just acting. She was dancing, wanted to do concert dance, and wound up just on a whim auditioning for Hamilton when they were doing it. And, she's very Anglo, very fair skinned. And it's like, please, no white folks. Audition for Hamilton. This is like the beginning of Hamilton. Do you know what I mean? It's like white people of color. And she booked it. And I was like, what the hell? She's like, because she was like, oh, I'm just gonna dance. It's like, you auditioning is the job, right?
Right.
And it wound up 2 years of just incredible adventure. So
Wow. She was a dancer in Hamilton?
yeah, she
So
did.
was she, would I have seen her in the Disney Plus?
Probably not
one?
that one, because they filmed that one. They shot that a while ago, but she was on.
Yeah.
She was a Universal Swing, so she got, you would always see her name on every marquee because
Wow.
she was covering. Yeah,
How cool.
whether it was in London or wherever. Even though she didn't get to go to London, she covered every cast. She's wicked good. But the funny thing is like, she was like, I want to do concert dance. And she's like, oh, I'm also capable of musical theater. So let that be a lesson to you actors out there. The readiness is in fact all, as Shakespeare said.
Yeah, no. School and life leads you to places you never expect.
I can actually, I love, this is true, I think, more frequently in life than we realize, but I this one I am able to recognize. I can trace back basically me moving to LA, me staying in LA, going to UC Irvine, meeting my girlfriend, meeting most of my friends in Southern California, all to watching a Kingdom Hearts timeline video sophomore year of high school.
I watched it too. I know the one you watched because it's the longest.
I can trace it almost my entire life today is a result of watching that video. Yeah.
Incredible, dude. Isn't that funny? Mega Elixir. Goofy, please, no. I only have like 3 of those.
Oh my god, don't even get me started.
Oh, you hurt Sora? Mega Elixir. I don't have a good Donald, but Donald's like,
yeah, not bad. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, when Goofy gets hit by that rock, though, spoilers. Damn. I was like, Goofy's dead, you kids. Listen. I used to work for Disney.
Disneyland is over. Goofy is dead.
That's where I did it in undergrad. I used to I was good friends with Goofy, as we would say.
No way.
I was good friends with Goofy, Tigger, Hook, Aladdin, and very good friends with Prince Naveen of Maldonia. Yeah, if you ever look inside the old Pixar book of costuming, you might see a 20-somethings Ricco being the first Naveen. But anyway.
Oh.
I do love Princess and the Frog. That shit is great.
I met Naveen back in 2008.
You've met
now I'm kind of like, I want to go find that picture.
Oh, shoot!
How funny would that be?
Could you imagine?
That'd be weird.
It's connected.
Oh my
God. Connected.
That's crazy.
Calls coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
We live in a simulation.
We do.
We do. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, even thinking about Disney, which is a different thing, but like in a dream scenario, right? Like I'm writing a Disney movie and life is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel, from our experiences with theater and film, that being a fan of whatever you're working on, like I'm obsessed with the musical Heathers. Like there are just these little things that's like, oh, there's this project for this thing. It really helps with your performance or whatever you're working on. How's that, translated to your own work? Like with My Hero, we know you're a fan.
Man, it's funny. I almost have to not think about that, not be a fan, if that makes sense, because I just watched, speaking of Hamilton, I was watching the Disney Plus Hamilton. It's really fun because I've seen the show multiple times because I followed my girlfriend all over the country watching different versions, and it was always fun to see. Want to see the show again? I'm like, but like people clamoring for these tickets. But it's like, you do the show and you get to watch it. But watching on Disney Plus was really cool because film, you get to punch in and see Jonathan Groff just spit all over everyone in the front row, which was awesome. And I got to tell you, like seeing, how best to answer this? Like, let me go back before I talk about the Hamilton thing. I'll say that with being a fan of anime and enjoying My Hero, and okay, I think about these iconic moments, right? Like if you guys watch Naruto, Rock Lee drops the weights.
Oh.
It's like, oh my God, it was like there's another level, right?
10 out of 10.
Oh my God, yeah. There are these moments where in Samurai Champloo, Mugen is fighting cocky, braggadocious guy, and then all of a sudden the animation shifts, the music drops out, and he goes, "Leave, get out of here!" All of a sudden you realize he can't. I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like there are these moments, right, that stick with you. And you were just saying that, Matan, like some of these things like Kingdom Hearts, right? You're like, well, this is now a building block of my life.
Right.
There are some things in my life, artistically in anime, that are very critical, like that Akira moment. But when I'm working on My Hero, I'll specifically say to Mirio's big fight with Overhaul, tried not to have spoilers. I knew as I was reading the manga, I'm like, oh shit, this is anime history that I'm going to be involved in. And if I knock it out of the park and I do a really good job here, not that I would ever sandbag for anything I want to do. I always want to try to do my best in everything. But being aware as a fan that this is a critical juncture for storytelling. Freaking Mercutio, it's a scratch, right? It's that moment where you're like, oh, that's not a scratch. It's from an acting perspective, that something is dramatic is about to occur. But I feel like as an actor, I cannot let that be informed. My fan heart can't be involved there. I just have to, if anything, dig further into the work and put myself in the pilot seat, like in the driver's seat of, I'm here. All of me is available for this, just only because I can get seduced by wanting to make it something else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, because your character doesn't know that it's something else.
Sure. And it's all, gosh, you guys know this. It's all like acting sort of 101 stuff. It's it comes back down to the work and just being available in the moment, breathing what's going on. I will admit there was one read that I still hear this to this day when Mirio's diving to Eri, and it was informed, and I will admit this. I'll only admit this here because we did that scene a couple times, very dramatic scene where stuff happens to Mirio. Talking around it. Anyway, stuff happens. He's diving to save this little girl and named Eri, and I did the scene from the heart. I always try to do one take where it's like, this is it. And then we did another one because there's the issue of matching the flaps and different things. But this one, fortunately, was off camera. But Colleen Klinkenbeard, who's my director in My Hero Academia, she plays Luffy in One Piece, like very well-known performer and like direct. She's been doing this a long time. She could hear, I think, inside of me. She's like, "Do you want to do another one? Do you want another one?" And I was like, "Yeah," because it felt good. I'm like in tears in the booth, like waiting. I'm like, "It's cool. Keep going." Like trying to stay locked in the pocket. But I totally did. I was thinking of Lord of the Rings when Samwise Gamgee is like, well, I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you. Yeah. And I thought about like this, like, no, but that, I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And the line came out as, like, you're not going to be hurt. Not anymore. And they kept that take. Wow. It was counterintuitive to what sort of like was my impulse, you know what I mean? Which is like, actors were slaves to impulses. Just like, it feels right. It feels good. But there was a part of me, the writer, director part of me was like, I think musically, you're musical people here, if I just change the pitch and tone a little bit, it's going to serve up the next moment even better. I'm very sensitive to the music of anime, which I'm sure you guys are as well. I can already just tell based off your energies that you're all very sensitive to music people. I know, Adriana, we talked earlier about Yuri on Ice.
I cry. I like
music in that.
It just happens. Which is great. And I know, Matan, you play Kingdom Hearts, like talk about a musical score, like all the music is just like, what's the one?
Dearly Beloved.
Yeah. Oh my God. The one I'm thinking of.
Totally. Yeah. That song is
Simple and Clean.
Yep.
Simple and Clean.
Simple and Clean. That's it. You're right. That's it.
Sorry. No, but there's a lot. The music just transports us. And in that moment, I could feel the music was dropping out. It left a place vocally where I'm like, I can serve it up.
Yeah.
I can be really intimate. But my director brain picked up afterwards, like writer brain was like, I bet if I let this sail and I just like call it out to her, because it's an internal monologue, which is an interesting thing for anime.
Right.
It'll serve the next moment. And by gum, they put that one in there. And so, So to answer your question, to make it longer, I try to not be a fan while I'm doing it. I try to double down on being actor. Yeah. And then later I can be like, oh fuck, Matan, you rocked that shit. Did you hear that? That was badass.
Right.
We can celebrate.
I feel like that. Yeah, that has to make it so much better. Like watching the show after.
Yeah. This did though remind me of another question I did not think to write down for you. Have you ever met the Japanese voice actor of Mirio?
Not yet. I've met. Oh shoot! I've never really met my counterpart before.
That's what I think would be really. It's very curious, very interesting.
Yeah.
There is a very famous Japanese voice actor, contestably #1 voice actor in Japan, Miyano Mamoru, who I've got to play across from his casting before. He plays Kotaro in Zombieland Saga, and I just recently got announced as Haru Kato in Millionaire Detective Unlimited Balance.
Congratulations.
So like whenever that actor shows up for the adapting, people consider me to be like near or on par with him. So we try to keep, you know what I mean, keep the similar vocal profile.
Yeah. Right.
He's very eccentric, very high energy dude, and I love hearing him when I get to perform and dub. But it's really like voice acting in Japan. It's like they're rock stars, dude. When I went to Anime Expo,
absolutely.
I couldn't get close to him. He was just like, ah! And I'm like,
Right.
oh, I also play that role.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey,
good to see
meet you guys.
I'm over by the crafty table, just waiting. But yeah, so I never got to meet any of them. Although French Mirio, his name's Maxime. We connected over Instagram, and he was like, "I want to get fit like Mirio. You got any tips?" And so I made a little workout video for him.
Wow.
So we got the
cool.
French connection.
That's so
Yeah.
wholesome.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Unfortunately,
Mirio's
we can't. Yeah, double Mirio. Anyway.
Yeah. So My Hero is probably one of your most high profile jobs, but on IMDb you have 213 credits for acting, which is pretty common for like, you know, voiceover, because the industry has such high turnaround. What's been your experience with turnover and doing multiple projects and like even, you know, possibly burning out doing a lot of different things, switching here and there?
Oh man, when you say burnout, I thought of, so I at one point, and you know, for my actor pals out there that do voice stuff and teaching. So, you know, as an actor, to speak again to just accepting jobs and doing jobs, I was teaching at a local community college out here, Richland College. I was directing Putnam County Spelling Bee. I was 2 leads over at Funimation, and I was doing Romeo in an outdoor theater at Shakespeare Dallas, where I got to play the title character. I got to be like 30-year-old Romeo. It was weird, but it was cool. I was like, I know, I've always wanted, I thought it was like Mercutio. They're like, Romeo. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I'll try.
Okay.
Give it a shot. Just really get those bags under the eyes. No, but what is it? I hurt myself. I got a hemorrhagic polyp that I developed from just using my voice. I could notice it in my voice work, particularly in a show called Grimgar of Ashes and Illusions, where I'm like, it just started, you could hear it. And I'd swallow and I couldn't swallow properly. I'm like, man, but it was literally, guys, just from the use. So talk about being burnt out. It wasn't like I'm just tired of acting. It was, my body is like failing me because I'm just hammering on my chords all the time. I ended up getting it removed. Thank goodness for AEA, Actors Equity Insurance for stage, because that paid for all of it.
Thank God.
Yeah, talk about insurance actually working. I was super stoked. But it was the same. It was the same thing Adele had, by the way. She also had hemorrhagic polyp. We're pretty much the same person.
Right.
Absolutely.
No, anyway, but yeah, got it taken off, and it was a weird experience because for just a moment I had like crystal clear tenor sound. You guys, it's weird. This little piece of like flesh inside of our throats that manages our sound, it is an amazing thing, because when they finished with surgery, I thought I had superpowers, because when we finished the surgery, I came out of surgery and I was like, and it was like crystal clear, like a bell. And I was like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. But then of course it like healed and not cauterized, it healed. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Normal Ricco sound again.
Right.
But all that to say, for a moment, it felt awesome. Yeah, all of that to say, I have reached that point of fatigue of just utilizing my voice very aggressively. So as I've gotten older, I've learned to warm up more, hydrate more. It's really more of the same. It's the things you learn in acting school, just putting them into practice. Like you have to get your routine down. So for me, it was warming up every day, every day and making it interesting for me where I wouldn't want, like, I would go and I'm like, okay, I play chords on guitar, but I'm like, I've always wanted to learn piano. Let me play scales for myself, and I'll make that's how I make it interesting. I'll do that for 10 minutes every morning. I have to do warm-ups, because if I don't, I will misstep and I'll hurt myself, and that it really does add up. So, yeah, I don't know that when you said burnout, I was like, that was like the first thing I thought of was how I trashed my voice. And I mean, I literally, like, I did a yell in, I was working on Fairy Tale. I played Jackal in that show. Yeah, I'm one of the villains that actually, like, perma kills some people, which is crazy. But which doesn't happen in that show, by the way. Fairy Tale's like, everything's light and fun, except for when Jackal shows up.
Yeah.
But I did a yell for Tyler Walker. In the middle of it, I was like, I'm sorry, I need a second. And I went out into the hall, and I could feel my cords, like, vibrating by themselves, and I could taste the copper of blood, and I was like, I have to take a break.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, like, I didn't set myself up for success. I kept pushing because I was very, I think I took the mantra of follow the work a little too far. I didn't, it's the, when there's work in front of you, you say, yes, you got to go do it. You got to go do it. And coming out of grad school, I'm like, yes, every project. But then I didn't recognize exactly how the quality of my work was starting to suffer a little bit.
Right.
I was still swinging for the fences, but when you swing for the fences every time, you're going to throw something out, especially if you're the only one up to bat. I guess if that's the analogy.
Sports.
Yeah, sports ball. Which, by the way, you made me think of UCI when I thought about when they were giving me the tour.
Yes,
and they were like, we don't
exactly
have a football team. We don't have a football team, but we have, like, an Olympic level volleyball team in baseball. And I'm like, okay.
And water polo. Don't forget water polo.
Yeah. All of our teams just have abs. Everyone's like, just.
Have you the volleyball team? Like,
yeah.
I used to work at Panda Express, and they would come to Panda Express a lot, and I'd just be like, "Hello."
Yes.
We're like 7 foot tall. Hi.
Yes.
What would you
I
like?
love going to those games.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's super exciting. But yeah, then I came to SMU, which I don't know if you guys know this, but SMU, like, their football team is the only team in collegiate history to get it's called the death penalty. Because they found out they're paying their players, so they killed the program.
Shit.
So I came to SMU, and I'm like, finally a school with a football team. And everyone's like,
no.
Don't talk about it. That's so
better
interesting.
now. They're better now.
Rico, have you ever thought that maybe it's just your fault none of these places have? No.
I'm sorry.
Our my tour guide, I don't know if they did this to you, Caitlin, because maybe it was similar to her. But they were actually, I know nothing about sports, so it's like, okay, but they were saying, oh, we're actually, like, #1 in the league for football. We're undefeated. They said we're undefeated, and a bunch of people were like, what? No way. And they're like, we're undefeated because we don't have a team.
I think you went on the same tour.
We're undefeated because we don't have a team.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. Made me think of what is it? Funny mascot. Sorry to segue, guys, but it's fun to talk to you guys.
Fine.
The banana slugs. Is that Santa Cruz?
UCC.
Yeah,
Yes.
Come on. How are you gonna have banana slug? I love Santa Cruz. I love going to Santa Cruz. I love the city. It's beautiful. But banana slugs? Come on.
I am into it because I love a ridiculous mascot. I love, like, a tree, or I love
yes. My high school was Live Oak. We had a nut, an acorn, and on the side of our Speedos it said "Go Nuts" because we had water polo as our school sport. Swear to God.
That is so stupid.
I'm gonna rack folks.
One
It's
could
brilliant.
say
There
it's
you go.
even nuts.
Yeah.
Hey. One could say. Yes.
Boo.
Look it up, you guys.
Okay.
Live Oak High School, Morgan Hill, California. That acorn, man, it was really angry looking. It was just a big acorn with, like, buff arms and, like, chonky legs. And it's just like, man. Who wants that cheering you on in the corner?
Right.
Although
Did you
I would
guys
love a
have
banana
someone, like,
slug,
dress
like-
up as this mascot?
I'm sorry?
we had a nut. We had one big, like,
a dude in a nut costume.
we had a dude in a nut. Sometimes it was a girl because they would do gymnastics. But it's
Okay.
hard to jump in that costume.
I would imagine, yeah.
Sorry, I totally took us off track.
No,
That's
that's
okay.
a good
No, this
anecdote.
is
Cracks me
great.
up. I'm
I
like
love-
crying from laughter thinking about it. It's great.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Memories.
Back to the podcast.
Yeah, apologies.
So we've been talking a ton about anime, but of course we are a video game podcast. So let's get a little into video games.
Yes.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I know a little bit about voice acting, not a ton, but so for dubbing for animes, usually what you have is like you'll have the script in front of you, and then you're seeing like the anime in front of you. You see the original version, and you'll have to like match it to the flaps, and usually you'll either have like the other person already recorded, or you'll have like the Japanese version to go off of. So you have a little bit to go off of, and you have like your character, like their original lines to go off of for like how to say it and like when to match up with the flaps. And then I was wondering how that translates to like video games that are dubbed.
Oh man, it's a challenging one to describe because it's a case-by-case basis. Some games companies will supply you with, actually I have my lovely Gearbox coffee mug that my buddy Joel McDonald, who used to direct me over at Funimation, is now a director over at Gearbox. Where I was working on Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. Working there with voiceover, I mean, it's just a script. We have no picture yet. If we do have animation, they would show like maybe a picture of the character. Joel's a wonderful director, so I think for both anime and video games, it's a lot on the director to set the actor up with the given circumstances, like what's happening. That I think is one of the reasons why Joel made that transition pretty seamlessly to doing more video games than anime, well, like exclusively video games, is because you don't have the materials, you guys. Like it, right. You just described it, Caitlin, like the ideal setup where you have the finished animation, you have the finished Japanese audio, you have the M&E, you have the effects happening in the background, music and effects. All of this going on, great, you can do your work. However, when a video games, oftentimes things are changing. And even in anime, sometimes they'll go back and change the animation. So I'll match these crazy flaps and it's like, crap, Ricco, we got updates. Mirio doesn't go flap, flap, flap. He just goes flap. We're like, how do we fit all those words into that now? Right. Do you know, so the writing, the adapter, it goes to writing, they adapt it, it comes back to the director, they book me, I come in, I do the, try to make sense of the scene. It reminds me of Shakespeare, actually, when you're thinking of different, like, what is it? Not volumes, a different, oh my God. What is it? Well, because there's different transcribers who did different versions of like scripts.
Yeah, like.
My brain fart.
The meter?
Same.
Well, like, what do you call the different versions of Shakespeare's texts? Folios.
That's it.
Sorry, I just found out.
It's too early.
My dad's like, I don't know.
Wish I could have helped.
Sorry.
Shakespeare? Who's that?
It's got a Shakespeare. Anyway, yeah, it's
Shakespeare.
The different folios like offer different insights, little twists of phrases as different people who heard it will transcribe it. But that said, when the animation can be different in anime, well, all of a sudden it can be a different scene, which can be challenging. But for video games, oftentimes you don't have, I don't even think when I did My Hero One's Justice, I had the gameplay footage. I think I had like one intro. It just showed Mirio jumping in. And even then it was all, you were just supposed to speak over him. So what we do in those cases is try to match the timing of the Japanese voice and just kind of cross our fingers and hope that I'm, hitting the same cadence. We rarely with video games get that kind of picture. Oftentimes though, we will at least get, a portrait of the character. So that'll give us something. But yeah, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
Have you ever done, I'm not talking like full body mocap, but sometimes they'll record just the face of the voice actor and then have someone else do the body. Have you done some of that?
I have, not for video game. Well, I did mocap for video games over at Gearbox for like a project. I can't remember I don't know where my body went on that, but they're using it on a project. Like I think I got killed a few times. I did a couple things.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really fun. I haven't got to do kind of like Last of Us style mocap for those really cool film style scenes, but I did do facial mocap and full body mocap when I interviewed Stan Lee before he passed. I did it as a big motion capture zombie.
It would be hard to do it after.
Yeah, it would be difficult. Dude, I felt so fortunate. I got to
meet him before.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
I'm sorry I interrupted you. Tell me about this.
Not at all. It was old school style. Now they just can They can put a little sticker thing on you. Back in the day, let's see, this is like 5 or 6 years ago, we actually had to put little holographic sort of balls, glue these balls to my face on all the like things. And literally, I mean, I would come in every day and they would take little glue and just do. And then they would put me in the volume. The lights would pick up where I'm at, and those were the trackers. Now the technology's gotten so good. I mean, shoot, we have it on our phones now with the emoji things that you can do with, you know, the animal faces, the facial captions got so advanced. But yeah, we used to have to glue the markers on our face for all that. But I would love to do something with like Last of Us or something soon. Hey, sweet, do you mind closing that door?
That would be amazing.
Thank you.
When you interviewed Stan Lee, what was that for?
I was working with a company called Modus Digital, and we were doing get this, you guys like video games. I was driving, I had an Xbox controller, and I was driving, I forget what comic book convention it was, but I was from Plano, Texas. I was driving, I think it was in San Antonio. I was driving a little like Segway around the convention, and I had a screen of my zombie face on there that was also being captured. So I was a 3D zombie, but driving, the Segway was just going around the convention, and I was like, hey, come talk to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so what's it like being a human? Like, if you were a zombie, and I would interview people, and we would get this footage. But man, I was driving this guy around looking at people. I just kind of like razz cosplayers or like, you know, interact with people. And they're like, we got Stan Lee. I'm like, oh my God. And meanwhile, I'm like in this medium and I have this controller. I'm supposed to be animated at the same time. And I have a script over here. I have my friends on different cameras. I can see them getting the interview ready. I have my operator who's operating my fingers because at the time they didn't have capture for fingers. So he was operating like these parts of my hands. So I was like, it was like puppeteering some big puppet.
How interesting.
Bro, it was crazy. Technology's gotten better, but I mean, you know, clearly this is something that that is going to be coming up more and more for hopefully for acting, is that we can, you know, really capture the whole experience. And oh man, we played a game called Dungeon Booth Live. I'm a big D&D nerd, you guys.
Oh, you just.
I'm sorry.
You just heard me.
You said the forbidden phrase.
What? How do I?
I said.
I
bought those dice for
DM.
her.
You did. I DM for Caitlin and Matan, and I have problems.
It's so good. We all like D&D. We all play D&D. That being said, Adriana's like next level.
She's on like another level.
Okay, if you guys in the future, I don't know when COVID's gonna go away, but when if our paths cross, Chris Waycamp, he plays Aizawa in My Hero Academia, among many other things. He has a show called Dungeon Booth Live, which we got to do at a couple conventions, and he DMs like in person. We make it like a live show, kind of I guess Critical Role-esque, but like I guess the Dallas edition. We have to talk more about that. We could have a whole show about D&D, but
episode number 2.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to segue too hard there.
That's
but
okay.
No, that is okay.
My friend has like in Phoenix, he's got this like setup for projectors that you can DM and control the whole room. So you hit like forest, and now like the room becomes a forest, and then you have like a holographic image of like your character. I'm like, and he's a tech guy from theater, my old friend from actually UCI days.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, I'm gonna totally take us off track. Sorry.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, we all love that. Technology is insanely amazing. But to talk more, I know, but to talk more about games, I guess, because you do that. And we love the games you do. I personally play Paladins, and I think in spring, in April, High Res added the support hero Corvus, who you voice at.
Yeah. Stop dying, you fools.
Nice.
Yeah, so like how would you this game is, you know, kind of similar to Overwatch. For those of you who don't play Paladins, you should though. So would it be fair to say, you know, you've been getting more into gaming roles? What has that been like, getting into both gaming and animation lately?
Yeah, you know, it's it's funny because I have to default and say back again, it's like following the work. The auditions come through and you get cast if you get cast, and you know, if you don't, you just keep auditioning. But yeah, you're right. I think with My Hero One's Justice came out, One Justice 2, where they did an English dub for a Bandai game, which is pretty rare. Super exciting. And they just dropped it. They were like, oh, by the way, with this update, you have English voices. We're like, what the fuck? But like, that's huge, you guys, that we were able to do that on a game like that. It just goes to show the popularity for the dub. With Smite and Paladins, my Atlanta, my friends out at High Res Studios out in Atlanta, I also have seen it at a bunch of conventions. It's really fun. I play Achilles. He sounds similar to Corvus, but he's a lot more cocky and braggadocious. And of course, he speaks in RP because, as you know, all Greek people must speak in RP.
As they must.
Like in all feature films, as we've seen.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, he's like DPS kind of like flanker character in Paladins, and both these are free to play, you guys. So if you're listening, you can download it and play it for free. It has been a delight to get to play more characters in games. Corvus is also a core character to the story of Paladins, so that's been awesome. Working with my pals there, but being more a part of the narrative, I guess. Paladins and Smite both, because they're free to play, they try to bring in revenue by having skins and voice packs and stuff, which is how they get people involved and hopefully turn a profit somehow by offering this game for free. But it's been really cool because for acting work, when a new pack comes out, for instance, I think I logged on last night. I was doing a community play event with my Twitch channel, playing Paladins with them. There was a Star Wars like skins where one of the characters,
Wow.
yeah, was like skinned out and like Darth Maul, and they tried to do the voices like Darth Maul. There was like a Rey-like character, but they went as far to do a collaboration with Avatar, where they straight up got. Did you see that?
Yeah. But good, continue.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, which I got auditions for, but like I was like, I'm not sure I can do my best Dante Bosco.
Yeah.
That's rough, buddy. Like doing. I was auditioning for him. Like I don't have that beautiful that tenor. I tried audition, but seeing that this cross pollination between games and anime, even right there, we just talked about it before. It's evidence in Smite, and for me to be a part of Paladins in this. With this, kind of lead new support character, it's super fun. I'm not sure if it's gonna like continue. I never, I'm sure I'm gonna keep booking games, but maybe I can say this. I didn't sign an NDA for it, but there's a game called GTFO. It's a 4-player squad-based shooter. Yeah, you'll hopefully that game's been an early release for years. But if you get to play that game, you may, I'll say that, whatever. You may hear me as like a person that is communicating with you at some point in that game. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. It's always hard to kind of talk about like, I'm working on video games more, but you never know what you're going to get to swing at out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know a lot of my pals, I just finished Final Fantasy Remake 7, or Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which I'm a huge fan of that series. And so many of my friends, my LA friends, are in that game. Yeah. And it's delightful because that game means so much to me. To hear their voices in it is just, it's like, it tickles me. But for me to be a part of it, I'm always just, grateful that I got to work on it, but there's no guarantee that I'll get to swing at another game. Sure. Even with My Hero One's Justice 2, like, it's because I was in the show. Do you know what I mean? That I got that. Not to knock myself or anything, but I just think that there's the places where I think video games auditions happen is primarily like usually in that location. So I think they cast most of Final Fantasy VII Remake out of Los Angeles, like Gearbox, because a lot of the talent came out of Texas because they're out here. So there is something to be said about being where the work is. However, coronavirus time, so we're starting to do a lot of recording from home. I've been doing dubbing from home. I've literally been dubbing the shows I've been in my home studio, which is wild. Yeah. But necessity makes strange bedfellows. So now, you know what I mean? We're doing it all. Sorry if I danced around the question, but I guess I should just say I'm grateful for the work, and I'm not sure if I'm going to continue getting more games, but they're super fun to be a part of when they come my way.
Right. Sure.
Absolutely. You have to stay humble. That's
I mean,
how it goes.
yeah, I mean, like that's been the thing, man, because I think it's the second year, like, oh yes, all the games are mine, and you know, I had this Last of Us 2 thing. I don't know if anyone's watching this for on camera, but like it's a little. I love the Last of Us series, but Troy Baker plays Joel, and he's like the de facto sort of, I guess, like in the yeah, twinsies.
Hey,
Caitlin and I are holding up the same.
too?
I don't have that one. I've
Yes.
got this art book.
Oh, I have that too.
dude, I got that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yep.
I love
so
it, you guys. And the podcast is awesome. If you guys haven't heard it,
Mhm.
I've heard good
listened
things.
to it. Yeah, at the end of it, by the way, it started going through the credits. It was like Aaliyah Tavakolian, got Carson McCain, Alicia Force. I'm like, I went to school with these
Yeah.
fools.
Right.
They're SMU alum. And Spoke Media, I was with them. Like the people who did the Last of Us podcast, they're like I was with them when they were just out here starting up. So I was like
Fucking
just
crazy.
listening to this podcast, like, oh, you guys, I texted
Yeah.
them all. You did such a great job.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway, all that said, it's a small world, you guys, and to be
Totally.
a part of anything like this is just it's a big blessing.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Circling back to your recent huge role, Mirio. My Hero is, I love that show. It's like, I think it's sort of the new guard of like shonen anime. I think it's kind of like the new big one. Just like Naruto's over, One Piece is dawdling, Bleach went off the rails. Like,
One Piece is forever.
yeah.
God,
I'm calling.
dude,
Hold
yeah.
on. I'm calling. I want this on record. I'm calling it. At the very end, when they find the One Piece, it's going to be one piece of gold. That's going to be it. And the real treasure were the friends we made along the way. I'm not
Yeah.
joking. That is
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
I mean, we've joked about it enough.
Yeah. It has to
Yeah.
be like, through sheer
like-
collective will, it's going to
It's
happen.
like in
I
a
agree with you.
series of unfortunate events when like what's in the sugar bowl? It's sugar.
It's sugar.
Yep.
Damn it! It was what
We
was
wait
said.
like 10
I
years to
literally
find out
told
what's
you you'll
sugar
find it
bowl
in
is
one
sugar.
piece, and you look at the gold coin, and it's like friends.
Yep.
I hate that. I hate when it's like you wait so long to find out what something is. It's just the most obvious thing. Like no.
But it really, I
Um,
mean, like that One Piece would be the show for it, Matan, totally. Like
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
show where that would happen.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
we've been doing it for years, you
Yeah.
guys.
There's no ending that could match what that show has set up.
Agreed.
It just
but-
won't end.
Right.
God, I've been so many pirates and Marines in
Love
that show.
pirates.
I also played
Yeah?
Colt and Curiel. Yeah. One Piece over at Funimation, it's like because it's the like the show that never stops, like, all right, well, we've used most every actor that we
Yeah.
have like for roles. But it's, you know, it's also a rite of passage, I feel, to go in and scream. You know,
Right.
I think my favorite was Laboon, calling out to Laboon the whale. Love you, Laboon. I'm like, I love that freaking whale.
um, but if you were in the My Hero universe, what quirk would you want to have, and why?
Oh, in the My Hero universe. Now that
Yeah.
is something, because I would wanna help. I've been reading the manga. I like
Mhm.
immediately. I'm trying to think of something that would help the heroes, with the struggles. But just to try to help them out. But the one I typically say when I was at conventions was incredible luck. When I play RPGs
I like
like
that.
Fallout and stuff, I like to put all of my points into luck.
Huh.
Because it's hilarious when you're like, you know, the enemy's running towards you and they slip on a banana peel and break their own neck, and you're like, dope.
Yeah.
And then you loot their body, you got like 9 million gold. You're like, sweet.
Yeah.
Just my luck is insane. So I guess like the Marvel equivalent would be like Long Shot or maybe Domino.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Domino, yeah.
domino.
Yeah, I really like Long Shot because there's just this, it's like a mystic quality to it.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that would be incredible luck. Actually, that goes back to like Danganronpa, right?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But I think now, especially, you know, election time coming, this pandemic, I've been wondering more about the future. And I think a lot about Sir Night-Eye with his ability. He has foresight where he's able to see into the future.
Mhm.
But I would like to time travel. I've been watching, also been watching Umbrella Academy. So I
Yeah.
think about going to the future and just seeing these things would be really
Mm.
cool. But watching The Boys too.
Oh,
Yes.
so have I.
So
The
much
boys.
hero stuff, you guys. So much
I
hero stuff.
know.
Heroes are hot.
And dark hero stuff. Fuck.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're you can tell like the maturation of sort of the people who are looking at these comics back in the day. I don't know if you guys seen like when Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man comics, was like first like, big comic death.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, she's really dead. Can we like say this to kids? Like, is this okay?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, we're so exposed now to media. And it's like what I said with Akira, right? Like I got hit by that thing, that moment. And I was like, my world has been changed irrevocably. Yeah. But with this medium, and now my relationship to this medium is so intimate. I mean, video games too, though.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Do you guys, by chance, can I ask you a quick question? But have you guys played Final Fantasy VI, the Japanese 6? It'd be the US 3 on Super NES.
No.
It's so good.
I'm not a huge Final Fantasy fan.
That's okay. No worries. I mean, I'm on the Rings of the Tree. I'm a bit older on there, but I will say there's like some moments in these old little pixely games with this gorgeous 16-bit music, where a character would die, and I'm 13-year-old Rico's playing it, and I'm like, I am tremendously affected by this, and I want to play on it. Similar to My Hero, I can only imagine what it's like with this beautiful animation and this powerful music, and how kids these days are going to be carrying that. I mean, we're freaking adults, and we're affected by it. I'm trying to imagine what it's like for these kiddos who are like, oh yeah, Bakugo, ride or die. Like,
yeah, absolutely. It's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, I apologize if I feel like I segue so much, you guys.
Nobody comes to podcasts just for the strict questions, you know?
This is not scripted. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, why did the prompter stop? Why did the teleprompter stop?
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to circle back to some video games, what are some of your favorite games, and what's been on your Twitch queue to play?
I play Overwatch a lot with my brothers. Excited
who do you
to see what. Gengu. I'm a Genji main. But I've been tanking a lot.
Who's your go-to tank?
You know what? It's recently been shifting to Diva. I've been her mobility is just incredible.
Yeah.
She can eat ults. I mean, like, I've been experiencing a lot of Moiras and Annas, talented supports. And I found if you're a diva in the right place, you can really just create openings in a great way.
For sure. Because you can get behind enemy lines, it's really good to focus supports with diva. You're right.
And you can gobble up things while shooting your rockets.
Yes.
You can't do that with guns, but you can literally I can just rush at Anna, eat her grenade, eat her sleep, and kill her with my rockets. Yeah. Like, you can dive. You can kind of dive, but not in a Winston, please God, don't kill me with my, just slowly DPSing people with your shitty electric gun.
Right.
But I love Winston. If I have a talented sniper on my team, I will dive as a tank all the time. I rarely play Orisa. Although, I like tanks that are more mobile. Diva and Winston have been on hard rotation a lot, and Reinhardt if
I'm a Reinhardt main.
Yeah.
But sorry, Reinhardt's a little sticky, or you can get out of there, but takes a while.
If you've got a good team, it's like I can pay attention. I'll play, Diva or Winston, and if I'm getting all right returns, but I notice my DPS is doing a good job, I will be like, okay, I will now hold up the big blue square for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll take advantage when I hammer down.
What's his counterpart in Paladins? Fernando?
Oh, I see.
He's like an Italian.
Yeah.
It starts with an F. God, I know the characters that I know, and I don't know the characters.
There's a lot of characters. I think there's more characters.
But I do kind of love, a lot of people like to make the joke with Paladins. It's just a free ripoff of Overwatch. But I do actually genuinely enjoy the parallels between these characters. It's fun.
Oh, dude. There's more characters in Paladins, which is really fun. I was playing it last night and taking it really slow. Of course, I was just selfishly playing Corvus. And I also play Dutchman Makoa. So he's a tank. He's a turtle boy that's kind of Roadhog-esque with a hook. But he also has a really cool AoE shield that he can put up.
I'm so bad at his hook.
Dude, I've gotten better at it. It's actually helped my Roadhog game. But I will say...
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because I'm get over here.
Get over here.
Get over it. Thank you for catching. But I will say, That's the funny thing. They said it's like a ripoff of it. What was we produced a game out here that a lot of my pals were in called Battleborn. If you guys remember that game. It came out the same time as Overwatch, and the timing couldn't have been worse.
It really did not do very well.
Overwatch just like scooped up all that fan base, and Battleborn was like crap. But I will say, even though it kind of is it's a hard knock life when it comes to creating, AAA title games. Games like Paladins and Smite, because it's free to play and you can just hop in and start playing with people. I mean, it feels more accessible. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, obviously because you can download it, but I think that's a really smart thing, both in anime, honestly, and video games. Having access to the game and being able to contribute and be a part of the community is that seems to be more vital nowadays more than ever. At least that's what I've been experiencing. Because I know there's a lot of stuff happening with like region stuff for showing anime. There's some people who I think they just shut down, not to get all not political, but there's something in news recently where they shut down Kiss Anime and another
RIP.
Yeah. There's so yes, it's like people are like, well, that's where I get my anime, and they would say I watched ads anyways, but that's how I got it. It's like, yeah, but that revenue is going to this other company versus the friggin' people who make the anime literally not making very much money that are like, please, we hope our anime succeeds. You're right.
What's hard for me, I did this, there are some things that I have taken before where I have subscriptions that give me access to these things, but either they're not on the devices that I watch on, or they're not, I'm sorry, what was the other reason? They gate them.
There's region restrictions, device restrictions. Yes. There's so many freaking restrictions.
And so that's when I don't feel as bad about watching that stuff when I have, or there's sometimes if I want a game on my, I want to play Super Smash Bros. Melee on my computer, right? I have Melee over
I own it. I've contributed, right?
So I paid you. But I don't want to say go pirate things. That is not my intention.
I know, and me neither. I will say this though. We're not for pirating.
This show does not condone legal behavior.
And I didn't mean to open that Pandora's box, but I just want to make
you're fine.
Note, because the free to play element is cool, because it allows people to access and play. And it's fun, you guys. I mean, we can get on Discord, we can chat, we can do these things. And yes, you can also support, though, if you want to buy a skin, you can do that. I will say, and I will confess this freely, as a young person in the wild west days of the internet, I'm talking LimeWire and Napster and all these things. I was like, oh, I can download this game right now, easy. Burning CDs. Let me just copy that game. Mm-hmm. Piracy. But it was mostly because just not having access. I couldn't get the dang thing, but I wanted to be a part of the thing. So it's not that I didn't want to hurt the company. It's just that literally I couldn't have access. As a young person, to be a part of the community, I did in fact participate in what was the piracy. I literally would click on LimeWire. It's would you like to see Ninja Scroll Part 2? I'm like, I would like to see that.
Yep.
And whoever's getting paid and getting revenue from me watching this commercial or whatever, then they're getting paid. Right. But I don't think that at the core of it, talking about Paladins free to play and talking about watching whatever Hulu with ads, whatever it happens to be, supporting the makers of whatever the thing that you enjoy is become only clear to me now in my adult life. Mm-hmm. So I mean, talking to younger people, and they're like, no, dude, I can't afford a $10 subscription. I'm like, you don't have to. There's ways to be a part of it, and not, Anyway, I didn't mean to get on that high horse. Hopefully it doesn't feel like one. But
agree. And being more on that side of the world, in the film industry and stuff, you start to understand more that it's everyone that gets affected, not because a lot of people just say, well, the actors are rich anyways, they don't need that money. But then you start to realize no, that's not true. People just have such a misconception about how it works, and then that's why they're okay with doing it, which it's not.
Well, providing access is really at the end of the day, if we can all play Paladins, we would literally go download it right now and play it together. which is badass, right? I would like it to be where we can all, I mean, that's, I think, a core thing. When I left UCI, there's a really great book called The Empty Space, right? Declan Donlin, is that right? Actor in The Empty Space. Anyway, it talks about the different kinds of actors, and one of which, what I mentioned earlier, Jerzy Kratowski, and the holy actor, like wanting to like submit yourself to this kind of community. You are the shaman. You are here to experience the pain so you can bring our tribe together. And not to get like super philosophical about it, but really, you guys, like, I wish we could all share our video game community and, you know, like our anime community. And yeah, you might be a Bakugo fan and I might be a Midoriya fan, but damn it, we're in the same fandom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I long for that connectivity.
Yeah.
For people.
I think there, you know, we'll wrap this up soon, but I think in recent years, some discourse has become more tense than in the past. You know, we live in tense, heavily conflicted times. So discourse around the things that come to mind are like The Last Jedi and Last of Us Part 2 is intense because people really care. And that is not to be disparaged. It's more that like people make, I am myself guilty of this. Like people make really intense judgments about the quality of your person based on certain analyses, interpretations, or feelings about pieces of media, which cannot always be done accurately.
It's fascinating. Humans are weird, you guys.
That's very
But
true.
I mean, isn't it cool, I think, that we have mediums like video games and anime? I don't know, man. I feel like you made me think about Last of Us Part 2 and that whole thing where people like sending death threats and being super aggressive. I didn't realize I was in a news article in that. Someone put my tweet on a reply to it. Yeah, someone was like, hey, thanks for your reply. I'm like, I mean,
Cool.
I didn't, it was very sweet. But essentially what I'd said was, if you recognize the art behind this, you would be thanking this actor for allowing you to have this. If I feel that charged up about a character in a game, I'll be like, oh my God, I fucking hate you. Thank you for your performance.
Absolutely.
Because like
I hate Abby so much, but I love Laura Bailey.
Dude.
Absolutely, yeah.
Dude. And I mean, and that's why I said in my tweet, I encourage, if you feel some kind of way about it, please go take just an acting 101 class.
Yeah.
And you will gain so much respect for the craft of creating these things, that, you know, it ain't easy. It ain't easy to be like that. But isn't that awesome? Like, for those of you that have played it, I mean, like, Abby's such a multidimensional character. You go through so much. I mean, and if you've read, I don't know if you're, for those of you not watching it, we were holding up this Last of Us Part 2 little placard that you got for the collector's edition. And Neil Druckmann has a beautiful statement that he makes about what he set out to do with this piece of art. And he asks, you know, what would you do if someone you love was a victim of a cruel and violent act? How easily could one's mind tip toward violent retribution? How far would you go to bring the people responsible to justice? If you were successful, how would it change you? Would you ever be the same? Like, these are actor questions, you guys. And it's like, for people who aren't familiar with the craft and they really get hit by something like that, I think that is like what we aim to do. It's like,
that's the point. Absolutely. Yeah.
But then to like somehow, I mean, they want to actualize it. It's okay, cool. Remember, this is art. Yeah. So it's teaching you about yourself.
It's just a game. It's not real. It is a tool for you to understand yourself and others.
And if you're sending death threats to actors, you are missing that tool.
I mean,
so much.
I'm like, yeah, you've got a lot of, I mean, the things fans say to me about Mirio, you know, like, aren't you angry at this person? Don't you feel this? Don't you feel that? And it's like, I mean, I love to chop it up like the ways we're talking about a character in a play, you know. This is the way I feel about it, but obviously you're going to take this way. Like, you obviously feel that you wouldn't want to have power taken away from you. You know, I'm like, for me, I'm a bit older now, and that's another thing, right? Like, we're a constant state of change, you guys. We're growing, we're getting older, we're learning new shit. Like, I'm talking to a young person. They're like, I'm so angry at this character for doing this to your character. And I say, you know, why? And then there's always just some beautiful psychology behind it where they want to feel empowered and they feel so much for my character. You know, I think it's awesome. But at the same time, it's like you guys are missing a beautiful, for all those people out there that are full of all that wrath, you're missing a beautiful opportunity to really take that experience, look in the mirror, and be able to understand yourself even better. I mean, that's the real, at the end of, I mean, obviously that's not what a lot of people do, you know, but just to take a look at how Abby makes you feel and why that is and what your sense of justice is, then we can have a conversation. And I think especially in this day and age with how, like you said, Matan, how divided, how divisive everything is, you know, from politics to freaking video games, that common ground, that middle area is, man, we need that. We need these places where we can connect. So anyway, don't pirate anime, play some video games together.
Well said. Well said. And I think that just about does it. Thank you, Ricco, for coming on. This was a really enlightening episode.
Yeah, thank you. I hope we can play games together someday. I've got a lot of them, so we can totally. I'm down to play.
Fantastic. That's the thing to do nowadays. That's what
I'm like, I mean, what else are you guys doing?
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Right. No, it's not. You're not wrong. Do you guys have any parting thoughts before we end it?
This has been fun.
Yeah. Watch
Yeah.
Ricco on Twitch.
Yeah.
Go watch some goddamn anime. Have some fun.
My Hero Academia, Yuri on Ice.
Read the manga.
Read
If
the
you watch
manga.
Yuri
Oh
on
my
Ice,
god. Read
then
the
yell
manga
at
for My
me.
Hero Academia.
I'll shamelessly plug Millionaire Detective Unlimited Balance. My good buddy Cliff Chapin, who plays Bakugo, is directing me in this show. It's pretty damn cool, and it just came out, so I'm working on that right now. And then there's another announcement that's going to happen in just a few days that I think I might be excited for a few people that I'm heavily involved in. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys taking the time to chop it. I feel like I could talk forever about all this stuff, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
Podcasts.
Yeah, so it goes. We'll put links to his social media and Twitch channel in the description below. Check out our socials as well. We post videos and the podcast once a week, every Friday. You can find us wherever you get podcasts or on YouTube with a video element. And we will see you next week.
Love you guys. Take care of each other.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.